Hello, and welcome back to another Dose of Sunshine episode. I am your host, Sunny Nielsen, messaging expert. Today's topic is one that I want you guys to really take seriously when you are looking at your business, whether you are looking at starting a business, where you're looking at developing a product, or expanding your business. I really want you to think about this part of a SWOT analysis, and that is part 4, threats. So if you have never been on my show before, welcome. So great to have you here. This show is all about business, marketing, creativity, and crazy things that happen as I, try to run a business while being a wife and mom. And those things happen, let me tell you. So if you are catching me live, welcome to all my live viewers. Would love for you to drop a note in the comments, #live. And of course, if you're catching the replay, you can always #replay. You can always drop those in the comments. I love to see that people are interacting and engaging and telling me hello. Now, this, again, is part 4 of a 4-part mini-series about a SWOT analysis. Now, if you've never heard of a SWOT analysis, don't be afraid. It's a great tool that you can use for your business to kind of just give you a great 30,000-foot view overview of kind of, a particular project, or say you're trying to launch a new business. A SWOT analysis is a fantastic way for you to just kind of give an overall idea of SWOT. This is what it stands for: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now again, SWOT analysis is something that marketers, business people use just to kind of give yourself a really good guide. This is a really good kind of self-diagnosis, self-assessment that you can use with your business to help build yourself a really good roadmap, a really good strategy to try and allocate resources, allocate finances, allocate time, all of those things. This will help you better do that and better strategize. I love to use it, especially right here kind of towards the end of Q4, as I'm starting to build out my strategy for the next year. I really try and include a SWOT analysis to kind of give myself a overview of what happened in 2018, as well as strategies for 2019. So again, if you've never heard of a SWOT analysis, don't be afraid. It's okay. It's a really awesome tool, and I really hope that you will use it. Now, if you have not seen the other parts of this mini-series, I'll go back and watch them, because I go over every single part of a SWOT analysis and the kinds of things that you should do to look for within each of those sections. But today, I'm going to talk to you about part 4. Part 4, which sounds really scary, but it's super critical for your business, and that is threats. Now, I want you to think about threats, not only like a physical threat. Like when you hear the word threats, a lot of time people think, oh, it's this big ominous thing, and it's like a looming threat, or like someone's coming at you, trying to attack you. And yes, it is that level of tension when you think about threats, but it's also subtle threats as well. And I really did title this, and I wanted you to think about that business is a battle. And I don't necessarily want you to think that you have to it's this big bloody war, and there's going to be all these casualties. But in a sense, you really have to realize that running a business, trying to be successful, is a battle. It's a constant struggle to overcome obstacles, to overcome these threats to your business, that all want to take your customers, take your sales, and just take your market share so that your business can't succeed. So I really want you to think about, in terms of business being a battle, I really want you to frame it that, you guys are the hero. You guys are the hero of this story. And there may not necessarily be villains, although there might be. You might have some arch nemesis competitor that is like, I just want to be better than them, or they're trying to get all my stuff. And if you have someone like that, we can help too. This can help too. But in reality, a lot of the battles that I do talk about in business is the battle to overcome yourself, or the battle to overcome market share, or the fact that your industry is emerging, and people don't understand your industry. Those are all obstacles. So I kind of want you to think of it not necessarily like good versus evil, but more in like the hero's journey of trying to overcome obstacles to reach their goal, to reach your success. So think of it more of a hero's journey, but I kind of just wanted to frame that in your mind, that this is a battle. You will have to fight to overcome these obstacles, to overcome these trials, in order for your business to succeed. So if you really want to succeed and you really want this, and this sounds really exciting to you, I really want you to drop a note in the comments and say hero, because you are the hero of this story. You are the hero in this journey, and I really want you to own that you are the hero. So please drop a note, say hero in the comments if you are with me in wanting to make sure that your business succeeds. So let's dig into threats a little bit. Now, threats, when I want you to think about threats, because we've already spoken about strengths and weaknesses and opportunities. And people sometimes think that weaknesses and threats are kind of the same thing. But I want you to think about it in terms of like weaknesses are often kind of internal. What's inside the organization that is weakening us, that is making us not able to perform at our peak, things like that. Threats are very much kind of external forces. They are the things that are happening outside of your business that might be impacting your business. So I want you to think about it in terms of, are there emerging competitors, or are there existing competitors that you've already established are, taking part of your market share, or are targeting the exact same clients that you are because they're offering the same service as you. And these are really good people to identify, competitors within your industry, within your market, because those threats that you're identifying can help you build strategies to mitigate and minimize their impact. So look at your competitors, both existing and emerging. And a secondary part to this concept of existing and emerging is to take like a one-step higher look and look at your industry and see, are there any threats to your industry? Perhaps you are I'll give a great example from the past. Like if you were a letter, like a stationery store, imagine the impact and the threat that the internet created when people could send messages digitally almost instantly. And the impact that made on the paper industry, on the mail industry, on all of those things, that was an emerging threat that came because the industry and technology was changing. So the world was changing. And so I want you to think not only in terms of your direct competitors here or your direct industry here, but also the industry impacts, social climates, changing technologies. I mean, especially in today's day and age, technology is advancing so quickly that you always have to pay attention to the potential threats that are coming in as new technologies develop, or as new technology, maybe it's not being developed, but it's being developed for your specific niche, for your particular industry, and how that technology, whether it's new or whether it's existing, but it's new to you and it's new to your industry, how will that impact your business? And being able to identify that, write that down, will give you a head start in saying, how do we attack this? How do we create a plan of attack to make sure that we aren't left behind as technology advances or as things shift? So really think about your threats, not only from direct businesses, but think about like technological threats, environmental threats. Another thing that you need to look at is, are there any shifting perspectives of your business? And again, this kind of goes to the external concept of, are your clients, are your customers, are your industry, or is your industry shifting their perspective towards your own business? Are there negative, is there negative media in the press? Is there negative impact related to a decision, a choice, a product? Think about the emotional, social impacts that might be shifting, because that perspective and that mentality towards your business is still a threat to your business. Because if people are thinking negatively about your business, chances are it's going to affect your sales, or it's going to affect your retention, or it's going to affect your hire rate. So you won't have employees to be able to perform your business. So I want you to think about both the emotional impact, social impact, and those all qualify as threats. And we want you to start building this list of threats, because again, if you've gone through the other videos that I've done, I wanted you to make a list of each one, a list of your strengths, a list of your weaknesses, a list of your opportunities. And now is your turn to build out your list of threats. Because again, you want to go big and you want to go small, because then it allows you to prioritize and say, what is the biggest threat to my business right now? Is there a threat that could potentially put my business under? Is there a threat? Is there a direct competitor that is aggressively trying to take our market share? This list that you're creating now will give you that chance to sit down with you, with your partners, or with your employees, or even if it's just you as a solopreneur. This will give you a chance to sit and really identify the things that could potentially be hurting your business, and then be able to strategize and come up with ways to fight back and to make sure that your business is successful. Now, if this is something that you've never done before, don't be afraid, because I do it every year, and every year I get scared. Because when you start listing the threats, then you're like, oh my gosh, like there's so many people, or there's so many things that are bearing down on the business. I don't want you to get overwhelmed, and I don't want you to get bogged down. I just want you to realize that those are there. They're present. Just acknowledge that they're present by putting them on the paper, because then from there, you can say, I only have 24 hours in a day, so let's tackle this one threat first. Let's tackle these 2 threats first, because those will make the biggest impact in making sure my business can be successful. Now, if this is making an impact in your business, please drop a note down in here and say, impact. I really want this SWOT analysis to help you move forward in your business. And if you know of anyone who would benefit from learning about a SWOT analysis, or just getting some insights on the way to execute a SWOT analysis so that they can start building their strategies, I would really appreciate you sharing this out with your friends. Tag them in the comments, share it on your page. And if you haven't liked my business page, of course, like the page, hit the little bell button, and you'll be notified every time I have a new episode. But I really do this for you guys to make sure that you have the knowledge and the tools and the weapons available to you in your arsenal to make sure that your business is a massive success. Now, if you have any questions on how to build out a SWOT analysis, if you have any questions on, is this a threat, is this not a threat, please drop it in the comments. I always go back and respond to all of my comments. And if you have any deeper questions, or you don't want to put it in the comments, you can always DM me. I do what I can to try and make sure that you have the tools available at your disposal so that you can be a success. So please go through. Your homework now is to go through and really dig into the SWOT analysis, because I know that if you do, you will be so much better prepared for all the opportunities as well as all the threats that could potentially come to impact your business. And I want you to be truly successful. So until my next show, until my next episode, I will just say farewell, and I hope you will join me on the next one. Bye.